And how we doing, everybody? DommyGun Rici here, filling in again for Tease. I was going to do his intro, but I blew it. I was trying to get all cool, and it didn't work. How surprising, right? But we're filling in again today for Tease. He's still feeling a little bit under the weather, but he is getting better. Thank goodness, because we need him back. And just like yesterday, I have my good friend Dave Rogers. Picks from Dave, who'll be joining us in a few seconds. I just want to go over a couple quick things. Tonight, we will be doing some NFL football. Not many times left to talk about it. Let me, you probably hear this in the background. Let me shut this off. Okay, we're doing 8 p.m. Who-Bangin Friday night. We'll talk about the two playoff games. We'll talk to David about them a little bit during the show also. But we'll be doing that tonight, 8 o'clock, 8 to 9. You know, our usual thing, just hanging out, talking, and see if we could come up with some plays for you for tomorrow. I'm looking into some props now. I already put my bets in early. I didn't want to go back and forth. You know, I don't really bet as much this time of year. You know, in football, I just, just for fun mostly, because as these games get closer and closer, for me to good betting opportunities, start slipping away, even though it's just so hard not to bet a playoff game, right? So that's how I go. Okay, let's bring in Dave. Let's talk some college basketball. Hey, Dave, how are
Hey,
you?
what's up?
I'm doing good. How about
Good.
you?
Well, I'm doing just peachy. It's Friday. It's the weekend.
Peachy
Um,
clean. It's
th-
Friday.
Today's card's not so great, but this weekend's going to be good. So,
Tomorrow's going to be a good day of college basketball.
yep.
And I'm going to devote my whole morning, have to worry about no shows, no nothing, and just devote to capping because it's going to be a good weekend. And like I said, with the football is the football. It kind of plays itself out now, right? So
Yeah.
it's, it is what it is. Hey, Tori Coca, how you doing, man? T sends his best. He told me to make sure I say hello to everybody. If he's awake, he'll probably stop in. But good to see you, Tori. He likes the Detroit game over 142-5. We will get to that game. But yeah, so a quick about yesterday. Not a great day for me. I had a couple winners, couple losers. Not a good day. Um, and when you need that, I went 3-3, and then of course one. I had bet 7 games overall. I don't know if I gave them all out on the show. Most of them. I went 3-3-1, of course, and that one game, the push always, makes it. If that was a win, at least I could have, squeaked out a little bit of extra money. So that didn't happen. That was the Michigan game +5. In the end, all the talk and all the this and that, and I went on that under after the game, and that's what made that 3-3. So that game kind of got me. Lost on the under 136, and lost on the and pushed on the Michigan. So you were on that game.
I labored over that under. Thank God I
Yeah.
didn't take it. I
Uh
didn't
huh.
touch the game. I ended up taking UCLA. I
Yeah.
bet them, and
Me
then I
too.
bet them live, which I chased, which people call it chasing, but I thought it was a good spot. SC
Yeah.
got the better of them.
Yeah.
Um, I won Long Beach. I added that hit pretty easily, but on the show I was 1-2. My best bet, Stony Brook, worked out. They were down 20 points, and they did what they did. William and Mary was shooting 80% from three, or else
Which
it
you
wouldn't
never
have been.
see. I mean, right? You never
Yeah,
see
which
that.
is crazy. But
He's had that, but he had that first half. That was one of his losses. He
yeah,
broke about even yesterday himself.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I mean, but not bad for putting in 12 bets with 103 fever.
Yeah.
Paco, what's up, man? That's my buddy
Go
Paco
Paco.
Healy. What's happening? And Damon's in the house. What's happening, guys? They're me and Paco go way back, way back. So good to see you guys. Yeah, Taste had the first half +2.5 in that game. Um, I noticed that what was the first half was 31-45, and then ended up being a 74-77 game. I mean, those points started pouring in, right?
Yep, they did, and really what it was is, and the things you can't cap for is it are just anomalies. Like William and Mary, they shoot 34, 36% from three. When they're
Right.
shooting more than double that, and they're shooting at volume, there's nothing you can do. It's kind of like the other game I lost, 61-65, I think was the final score, was Kansas City, Omaha,
Uh
and
huh.
the first. the second half, they scored almost 80 points or 75 points. In the first half, you look down 10 minutes in, halfway into the first half, and one team shooting 23%, the other one shooting 13%. You can't cap for those anomalies. They're never going to be that bad, and it just totally screws your bet. But it makes me feel confident because if it weren't for those, the caps were right. Tease's caps were right,
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, listen, if that's the whole thing in this game, right? As long as you're not way off, your cap is right. It's not. Obviously, you're not always going to win because, like I said yesterday, if it was that easy, we'd all be rich, right? Especially the way we gamble and the way we do it every day. It's a whole different ball game, man. It's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure. Yeah, but I did have that UCLA game. Also, I guess USC remembered the last time they played them, and they won that game handedly at the end, right? It was by 6-7 points. It was
UCLA looked bad. Boogie Ellis was hot, and
I
UCLA
wonder if they
looked
were
bad.
just maybe I don't know. They didn't take the game. They took the game too lightly. Maybe I don't really know, but they didn't look good at all. They didn't look good at all. I got stuck watching I was watching that Michigan State game too, and I didn't have anything on it, but I almost bet Michigan State, and but the point spread was like -3 or 3.5, and I think they won by 2. So Iowa, for some reason, just was off their game too. They weren't, you would think they would score those points like usual, but they were off their game. But anyhow, let's go to today. Let's start out with the game. The first game. Okay, let me put up. Teasa's on 2 games, and one of them is Iona. First half, -3. Now, before we get started with this game, I'll tell you that I am also on this game, and I'm on the full game, though, with Siena +7. So this will be another spot that I like that, though. We could always both win, right? First half, and but I took Siena the full game. Get to those notes. Did you take that game at all?
I didn't. I know Tease just like I do. We all have the bets that we go to. Mine's the St. Peter's unders. He's hit Iona first half a couple times this year, I've noticed. This is one that I actually looked for that spot. I don't usually take first halves, but this was one of them. Siena just seems too strong, and Iona isn't quite the same team they were in the beginning of the season. And I think the line's right. I think the line is right. So
yeah, I mean, I can see Iona winning, and Iona, listen, they're the better team,
Yeah.
But it seems like they're. And I heard someone else say this today, and I couldn't agree more. They seem like they're just kind of waiting for March. They're kind of like going through the motions type of thing. Like they're that good, and they're not that good. I mean, they 0-4 against the spread their last 4 games. 1-5 against the spread following out the spread loss. Siena 4-1 against the spread their last 5 at home. They've been playing. Siena started out slow. They've been playing better and better. There's a couple over trends with these two teams. 7-3 the last 10 at home, Siena, and the over. Iona has gone 9-3 to the over their last 12 road games. So they seem to be in that. But I'll tell you, I like Siena tonight. I like it was +7. I'm seeing 6 now, 6 and 6.5. So I got a good number this morning. That was on BetUS. That was -110. A couple other things I wrote down for this game. Yeah, I mean, again, Iona road play hasn't been good at all. And if this game was in Iona, I wouldn't be taking. I probably wouldn't take this point spread at that point. But yeah, I like Siena full game. But you didn't take anything this game?
I didn't. I thought about it as a game I looked at, and granted, days like today when they're all mid majors, even though it's a small card, you think this would be a field day for Tease and our type of betting. I just didn't like a lot of spots, so I was close.
I thought some were hard. I thought there was some real hard.
Yeah,
there was some real hard spots here. One other thing is the underdog in this head-to-head is 15-3 against the spread. Head-to-head, last 18 times these guys played, the underdog seems to have won. I thought the points were right there for the 7, so I went with that game for sure. The second, let me see. What games are you on? We'll hit your games. I'm on 4 games. Oh, let's.
I'm on
You
3
know what?
games. One
You
of
know what?
them,
Let's hit Tease's next game because it might be the same game.
it's the same one. Yeah.
Okay, let. I thought so.
Yeah.
Tease's Manhattan versus Niagara, first half, over 59.5. I got some thoughts on this game, but take it away, Dave.
Yeah. Okay. So the MAAC is notorious for being unders. Just not they're teams that play decent defense that don't score. That's just how they've been. There are a couple teams that I almost auto underbet, unless I really don't like them. Like if it's like minus 122, or if it's 122 or 120, which it rarely is. But I'm trying to pull up the trends between these teams. Every single trend that I saw, every notable trend, last few games, last games at home, last games against each other, they're all trending very, very heavy to the under. And I know it's a low number. It opened at 128.5. I got it at 127.5. It's done to 126.5. These are teams that struggle to score 60 points. So it surprises me why Tease is on the first half over, which we can still both win our bets.
Right.
But I've bet 1 over this year in this conference, and it won. But this is a conference of non-offense. That's for sure.
I agree. Let me see. What do I have head to head? The underdog is 4-1 against the spread. I don't like Manhattan at all. I think Niagara is the better team.
Agreed.
100%. I think they're the better team. Let's see if there's some. See, like the over under trends. I mean, Niagara has them. At home they seem to favor Niagara. There's a couple.
I'll read off the ones that I got here. So
okay.
Manhattan's last 4 of 5 have gone under. Last 5 of 6 playing at Niagara have gone under. Right. Last 5 of 7 playing in conference have gone under. For Niagara, 8 of 12, the last 12 have gone under. 4 of 5 against Manhattan have gone under. 5 of 6 against Manhattan at home, and 6 of 9 in conference have gone under. I mean, that's like 60% or better for every trend.
Something to say about that. Yeah. That's for sure. Now, did they both play St. Pete? And Manhattan lost against St. Pete, right? And then Niagara beat them. And
both of these were unders.
That league, right? And both went unders, and they're both under. That's both those teams went. Oh, Manhattan played Ryder last game. That's right. And then before that, they played Iona.
Yeah.
And Manhattan. I'm surprised Manhattan scored that many points. Oh, it was OT. No wonder they scored 7.
Yep. And the thing is, people remember one thing about St. Peter's that they should not remember. St. Peter's had that run in the tournament last year. Well, guess what? Before that and after that, they are the auto team. They are one of my best angles. They're an under almost every time, and their coach left. So it's a different. This St. Pete's team is different. It's not the same thing.
Gotcha. No, I like that look at, like you're saying.
Batiste likes the first half, so let's do this. Let's hit 60 in the first half, and then no more scoring.
Yeah. Yeah. See, a lot of those games are interchangeable. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's that Ryder game tonight against Marist, and then this Manhattan game. A lot of those games are all that Metro, and they're all like kind of interchangeable. They all played each other recently. Mm-hmm. And what I didn't like about, I do like Niagara, but at minus 6 was like, I was like, that's getting a little. But what total did you get?
Well, I got 127.5. It's down to 126.5. It was opened at 128.
It opened at 128.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and that was. Let me write this down. All right. Cool. Let me put it up. So those are the 2 plays that Tease was on. Now, those. What other games you on?
So I'm on. We'll talk about Ryder Marist, and I have 2 other plays. The problem is with these were, for different reasons, I took the money line because they've gone up. So this game I got it. I have Ryder at minus 127, which is just the highest level of juice. Now it's at minus 145. The reason why I like Ryder, besides being the better team, besides getting a point of value, if you're taking the spread, which you should now, because I don't think you should take minus 145. Just my advice. But they shoot free throws. I think they're 70th. They're way above average at shooting free throws. 75%. That's what they're at. And I like teams, especially favorites, low favorites, 2 to 6 points, that can shoot free throws, because what's going to happen when Marist is behind the last 2 minutes of the game? They're going to foul and hope that they miss that first 1-and-1. And if you make the first one, or if you make both of them, obviously you're in good shape. The problem is why I didn't take them last night with the spread, which you should do that now if you're going to bet them because of the juice, is because they have been covering these spreads. They've been winning, but they've been winning by 2 and 3 points.
Right.
And that scares me. Marist is one of the lesser teams in that conference, so you probably don't have to worry about it as much. But a team that's winning but not covering, when I can get minus 127 last night at early line, was a steal. So I'm on Ryder.
Ryder's definitely the better team.
Yeah.
You know, without a doubt. ATS, they haven't been really good. ATS, they've had more unders than overs. Like Ryder's 5-11 over to under, and Marist 9-8. But on the road, they're 3-5 away, 5-2 at home. Ryder, what are they? They're scoring about 69 points per game, and Marist is about 68, ranked 263rd.
Also, by the way, just to add, Ryder as the away team is 5-3. It's one of the only good parts of their ATS is being on the road. But anyway,
no, that's true.
They don't score points. None of these teams score points. These MAAC
None of these teams score points. And that seems to be like the whole thing in that division. Niagara, that's what I had down. How Niagara lost to Manhattan, and they are probably a game they shouldn't have lost. And I would think that being at home tonight was going to be that last game they played. They lost to Manhattan. I thought that was weird when they lost to Manhattan. I'm sure that revenge was on their mind in that game. And in the Ryder game, minus 2.5 now. Did you get it at? Did you get it at?
I got the money line at minus 127.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But here's the deal. I have Ryder up to 3.5. So I mean, another thing we can do is when I talk about my next play, which I got at minus 118. Both the money lines for the plays I have are over what I want to take them. If you wanted to experiment with that, taking 2 faves in a parlay for even money or just slightly plus money, I think that'd be a good spot with this bet, my next bet, if you do that.
What's your next bet?
St. Louis over Davidson.
Okay.
The reason why I like this one. What did I put down here? 1 second. I didn't write that down in my notes.
St. Louis has been playing really well, and Davidson not. And what jumped out at me about Davidson, I kind of like them tonight for a reason, but what jumped out at me is how bad they're shooting 3-pointers this year. Last year they were 4th in the nation.
Exactly.
In the 200s.
Yeah, yep. And Foster Laurier is not their star guy. Their dude isn't scoring. And the other thing is Davidson isn't covering at home. That's the other thing, that they're covering on the road. They're not covering at home. And I'm also getting a point of value too. And I got it at minus 118 on the money line. Now it's, I think, minus 135-ish. So you have that. And then I think also, one other big point. St. Louis is one of the best rebounding teams in the country. And Davidson is way below average. And the 3 things I look at, like I said, are free throws, rebounding, and turnovers. And if St. Louis can get the boards and points in the paint, and Davidson isn't shooting threes, which they're not, then it should be a pretty easy win, I think.
Now they're on a 5-game win streak, right? St. Louis?
They are.
Okay. Now, what do you think about the teams that they beat? They beat St. Bonaventure, George Mason, LaSalle, George Washington. I mean, they didn't play. All those teams are like over like that.
They're middling teams at best. Yeah.
I kind of thought that might come into play a little bit. And St. Louis's defense isn't the best, but I can see why you like this game. I took a shot with Davidson +2 minus 110.
Yeah.
And I hear what you're saying. I would have if I was going to take St. Louis, it would definitely be the money line for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. So this game, I really think is that close. I agree with everything you're saying. I just feel like Davidson might be playing a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think this is a big game for them. This is a real proving game for them going forward. And I took a shot. I took a shot with Davidson.
Yeah, and you know what though,
But
Davidson is.
it is so back and forth, Dave. It is.
No, I feel you. Davidson's a team that I love. I love taking both of these teams this season, not so much. But another thing too, St. Louis has won their past 5 games,
Yeah.
and then obviously Davidson has lost 4 of the last 5. They're playing the same teams though, and they're close games for the most part. But all of these
It's a good
teams are.
matchup. It's a good step. It's a good
It is.
stepping stone for both teams. It's a good
It is.
matchup for both teams. So,
Yeah.
without a doubt. But yeah, I wonder if anybody else is on any of these games. Paco, what are you going on? Davidson's coming off a loss to Rhode Island as a 9-point favorite. Under or pass? That's what my boy Paco Healy says. How you doing, Jimmy? You got any hockey for us? Come on in. Let us know. I was actually looking at the Rangers tonight. I kind of like the Rangers tonight, but we'll talk about that later. But I do. Yeah. So this game. So Paco likes the first half. That's interesting. Let me see. Oh, that's that I was telling you about Davidson. Yeah, they were 40. It doesn't matter. 40 whatever. No. They were ranked 4th in 3-pointers last year. And this year, they ranked 326th in 3 points. I mean, wow. Now, that's a drop-off. That's for sure.
They're historically a good free throw shooting team and 3 shooting team. They're neither this year.
Neither this year. They lost. Did they lose a lot of that? I don't know.
No, one of Foster Lawyer is there's like 6-foot white boy tip like Steve Nash type guy that he's just off this year. He doesn't look the same.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I seen them play. Was it Fordham? And they blew them out.
I think we were on the opposite. I think I saw you post that. I was on them that game.
They were just too. I bet Fordham because that's my boy plays for Fordham, and Khalid Moore. He used to play for Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Now he plays for Fordham. He's my friend's nephew, but I couldn't believe how much taller Davidson was. My friend was, he goes and watches every game, watches his nephew, and my friend used to play for Northeastern. He's how old are you?
I'm 38.
Yeah, he's around 42, 43 years old. So he used to play. So he works out the kid a lot. He works out Khalid a lot and stuff. And I was breaking his chops in that game because you knew they were out of it from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "What's up?" I said, "What's up? These white boys are too big for you guys, huh?" He's like, "I can't believe it, man." He's saying, yeah. But yeah, you remember that game? Good.
I do.
Don Play, Uncle Hank in the house. We love Don Play. But so I got you. Okay. Let's see. What's that rebounding? Let me see something here. Where is it? Iona, the Ryder, Oakland, Davidson. St. Louis 14-6 overall, 9-10 against the spread. Wow. They're scoring. They're averaging like 74 points, 75 points, and at least 70 away. Davidson's a little bit under that 68, but home and away, yeah. Offensive rebounding. This is something I've been kind of looking at more and more.
They're 90th in offensive, and they're 9th in defensive.
And they're getting about 8 offensively. They're averaging about 8 rebounds, and defensively almost 28. And that's up there, the 28 per game. So they're And Paco, that goes along to your other really too. That they both teams like that. Even Davidson, 22 defensive rebounds. Last 5 straight up. Davidson 1-4, St. Louis 5-0. What else? ATS Street. Even though Davidson is 1-4, they won all 3 of the last games against the spread.
They have.
That's a little bit something interesting.
They have.
The old website covers. Covers, right?
Oh yeah. I'm on it right
covers,
now.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got the print. I printed out the print sheet today. Mm-hmm. I like using it for baseball, and I forget about it sometimes. And today I said, let me check it out because they usually have like the rebounds and stuff like that. So, good old covers. When I first learned that you could actually like find information out on the computer, I thought I couldn't believe it. Like when the young guys started saying like, Dom, you got to see this site called Covers. We used to call it the Bible because they were really the first ones, like the first real mainstream one that So shout out to good old Covers. That's
They've
funny
got
that you
a
said
team
that.
rankings is another really good one that dives into it. Team rankings
Yeah,
is
yeah. Team rankings is good. I like their rankings sometimes, and I compare them sometimes to like the the Ken Palms and stuff.
yep.
Sometimes it's good, you know. So anyhow, all right, let's get to another game. So we're against each other on that game. That's always a good thing.
It's all good.
So it's always a good thing, man. I never mind. Tease hates when I come on here and tell him I'm on a game against him. He gets mad. Shout out to Tease, man. Not feeling well. We got to get his ass back soon. That's for sure. I don't like the fact that he didn't come in here today. So, and he only put 2 games out. That's not good. I got to go check up on him. I got to give his daughter a call later. Make sure he's all right. All right, the next game that you want to, the next game I'm on is the Buffalo Kent game. That's an interesting game. Are
It
you
is.
on that game at all?
I'm not. I kicked it around a bit. I usually
I don't
like
blame you. I don't
I
blame you for
usually
kicking
like
around.
Mac the other Mac, the real Mac, MAC.
Yes.
I like especially totals, and I really am tuned in to when to take the over, when to take the under. I think that I have
Go
Kent
ahead.
State as 11-point favorites. It's at 10 or 11 now, and the totals right on. These numbers were accurate today. I mean,
Okay. I see, man. We're on the same. When I first seen this line, I think I seen 12
mhm.
or 12 and a half, and I was saying to myself, if I could get Kent down to under double digits, or 9, under 10,
Yep.
they're definitely worth the play tonight. But my mind, and I'll let you finish. But my mind definitely leaned towards the total in this game.
Yeah.
I have a
Me,
play
and
on
me too. I forget where. I think is it 151,
what
147.
I got at 150 and a half
Okay.
this
It's
morning.
t-
It opened
I
at 149, if that mattered.
the problem is, and I
Go
have to
ahead.
pull it up. One of these teams is the problem. One isn't, and one I think Kent State. I have to pull it up, but usually both these teams score.
Yes.
Kent State usually has a way better defense. Buffalo definitely can score, and usually at 150 you have no problem because you see totals in the MAC at 160 and up. Um, I have to pull it up, but one of these teams I didn't like their trends. That's why I'm off it.
Okay.
I'll pull it up
Kent,
right now. But
I'll tell you, Kent went under. Kent went under in every game they won with a total of 140 or more. They've held They've held teams under 70 points a lot. Kent
their
State.
defense, yeah,
Their defense is really good. Yeah, Buffalo scored 91 against Ball State. They scored 77 against Toledo. They scored 100 against Bowling Green. 129 against SUNY California. I mean, you
Division
got to
two.
also sometimes take
Yeah.
take who you're playing, but 78 against Central Michigan, 80 against Miami, Ohio. So Buffalo, like you said, does score. They're 25th. They're ranked 25th, scoring 80 points a game. Ranked 40th with rebounds, 35 and a half a game. Not bad. Kent is scoring 75.2. They're ranked 98th and 32 rebounds, ranked 185th. Kent State does have the better defense. I took the under I took the under 150 and a half, and I was also leaning on doing something crazy. And last time I did it, it didn't work out. But I was almost thinking about taking Buffalo's team total over, but then it was too high. And when I seen that Kent holding these teams under 70 points,
Well, if you like that,
you
then
know,
you like Buffalo plus the points too.
yeah,
If it,
and
yeah,
I don't. So it
yeah,
got me off that whole line
yeah.
of thinking. I'm just telling you like how I
I
came
got
to
you.
the under, and
Yeah.
that's how I came to the under. Even though, and I liked it open at 149, and I got it at 150 and a half, and I could see people in general just let's see what the money's like. I could see off the top of your head, you hear about these two teams, and you just think it's going to go over.
Yeah. Well, Kent State,
And
I
it
could
could
see,
very well, but
and this is a problem. You have Buffalo who could overcome, just have the game like William and Mary did, and just go off. And if they go off, it's a team that scores 80 points. But on
yes.
the other hand, you could see this with the spread. The spread's at 10, right? You could see the 75-65 Buffalo and it being under. So I don't see it. Paco says, "What's their pace of play?" Let me see. Let me look up.
Well, I don't know their numbers, but what I got written down was when I was looking at the number. I don't remember. I did write down that Kent likes to slow games down a little bit, and if they try to, and Buffalo likes to play fast, and a lot of bad shots could be forced up.
Number 3, Buffalo's number 3 in pace of play, 77.7 possessions. Kent is
That's such a valuable.
is
That's such a
146,
valuable
about
defense.
middle of the road, 71. So faster paced game, but that doesn't. If you have a faster paced team, they could be neutralized by a good defense.
Right.
So
and that's my theory with Kent, that they'll be rushing. Buffalo will be rushing and take some bad shots, hopefully, and and missing. Kent State fouls a lot and hits their foul shots. They foul out as part of their defense a lot, and Buffalo does not have good foul shooting, so that could help in as far as the under also is concerned. That pace of play stat is I know I learned over the last 2 years or so. That's an important factor, man. That's I like to try to come up with a couple of like things that you should definitely. Everybody caps a different way, but there's always 3 or 4 or 5 things that you should definitely be looking at on when you're capping a game. I think anyhow that we all should be looking at. There's like general rules that you should definitely do. Only a few, but pace is definitely one of them, right?
for totals, it's definitely important. You definitely have to look at it, especially if you're looking at high totals, and if you're looking at these teams. Where does Arizona fit on that? It just seems like they're going over all the time. Let's look it up.
I mean, that was one of the games I split yesterday. I was telling you I liked Washington State, but Arizona State, those games.
Arizona is 17th, so they're fast too. The problem with Arizona, and this is not a game, but I guess we'll talk about it. They're fast and big. They're tall and fast. It's like you just can't. It's like a tidal wave. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree. Are they playing tomorrow? We'll take a look at tomorrow's games quick too before we get out of here. Another game that I am on. What do you guys? Would you all take under 150 in Buffalo? Yeah, Don, I took under 150 and a half. That's what I took. So I know I'm getting a little bit to chat. And Don, I was gonna bring up that game right now. Oakland versus Youngstown. I like the Youngstown team. I like these teams. It seems like JPZ. What's up, man? Yeah, team rankings is good. 100%. Yep, they are good. Everybody under the sun likes to say Ken Palm. They don't even know it. It's just amazing to me how that guy got so popular and got,
there are other ones like Ken Sagarin for USA, and then Sonny Moore and Ken Massey. There's a bunch of them.
Okay, cool. I
blend them in. I average them all.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's a good idea. Yeah, we got to talk about that. That's a good idea. I like that idea. So let's go. Let's do this Youngstown game. Let's see. Don's on Oakland +9. I'm on a total on that game. Where the hell am I? I'm the worst, right?
Oh, it's fine.
you know that how we play. That's how you know this. We do organic. We just
Mm-hmm.
This definitely ain't. We definitely ain't having this stuff planned. I took the over 150 and a half in this game, but let's talk to Don Player about this Oakland Youngstown game. Oakland 9-12, 4-6 on the road, 5-5 on the road against the spread. Their last 10, but 7-3 overall. 7-3 overall. Their last 10, 6-4 against the spread. Oakland, so they haven't played bad. Youngstown, they play pretty good at home, and they're 13-6 against the spread. 4-3 at home the last 5. 7-3 the last 10. Oakland scores around 73 points a game. Youngstown 84, and they're pretty both close in rebounding. But it's just funny with these rankings. Like I have Oakland like around 30 rebounds a game, and Youngstown 32. Oakland's ranked 314th in those rebounds, and Youngstown 171. So it's just so funny how, sometimes you look at those numbers and you're like, oh, that team is so much better at rebounding. No, it's a couple of rebounds, like it really isn't. So sometimes the rankings in certain categories can get you in trouble. That's for sure. So
it's true.
Like everything with these stats. Sometimes they, but these teams, I feel like, I feel like this game is going to go over. I feel like they don't play defense. I don't really see that they're really forcing turnovers, and they seem like they could run on offense. You got their pace with you?
I can look it up right now.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like this over in this game, and that bodes well for Oakland +9. I think I think also Don, without a doubt. I think
Okay.
Youngstown would want to keep
They're
you know
101 and 113, well above average. Average is about 180. So
averages 180.
because there's 363
Right.
teams.
Okay.
So
I
101
got
and
you.
118, they're faster. They're around 71 possessions,
Yeah.
72 possessions.
Yeah. I mean, I could see. I mean, I could see both teams scoring over 70 to 75 points. Easily. I mean, the over was 150. Was it what? Yeah, 150 and a half. Or did I screw that up? Is it? I gotta look it up now. Did I do what I did yesterday? I wrote 150 and a half or what 155? You don't have that total in front of you,
I,
do you?
I can get it. I got about 15 screens up. So
I know, me too.
it's
Of
what I
course.
do. But to tell you in this game, it's over or nothing. I think the line is accurate at
What's
10.
the line? What's it
It,
over?
it was at 9 or 10 last night. I'm going to pull both of them up right now. But come
As
on.
far as the line is concerned, you like Oakland with the points, is what you're saying. I think it opened up at 10 and a half. Actually.
It's at 8.5 or 9. Where it opened up was 10.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
I would lean. I'm going to stay out. I'm not going to lean. It's within a point. It's just too accurate. It opened at 155. It went down to 150 and a half right now for the total. But
That's what I wrote down. Okay.
I think it's time. If I might go, I might tell you on this because
I took the over 150 and a half.
Youngstown State has had games when they scored over 100 points this year. They
Without
just
a doubt.
I mean,
I mean, I could see. I kind of could see this game being like 85 to 75 type of game.
perfect. Yeah.
Something in there. I really could. But we like your play there, Don. Oakland +9, and yeah. Would you take the? We talked about the under.
Yeah,
You
I
want the
can't.
under
I'm not going to say it's a bad play. By the way, Oakland usually when I bet them, they're a good cover team. This game is the line's too close for me. I'll stay away.
Yeah. No, I thought so too. I didn't take it. Don is on the under 146 and a half at Davidson. And yeah, we did talk about that game before. Dave is on the money line on St. Louis, and I took Davidson plus the 2. As far as I mean, and you took under under 146 and a half. So I don't really I didn't really have a thought about that total, but let me see if any other games there are.
There's only 4 or 5 more games, but they're all
Yeah.
these were so just. I usually love days like this. The lines were so tight though.
Some of these games were tough, and one of them that I thought was tough was first of all that Air Force New Mexico game. That's a tough game, right? I mean,
Very.
the points. First of all, the point spread is up there. I mean, if you were going to ask me to, what's that? The Summit League, right? If you were going to ask me to make a play, I probably would take the under. But that's a tough game. That's one of them. I'm sure that you were referring to, right?
Yeah,
12.5 points.
I lean. If gun to my head, I'd lean New Mexico covering
Yeah.
the big spread.
Right.
I just would. That's what I'd take.
Yeah, I agree. You can see them you can see them blowing out, and I can see Air Force not scoring many points.
Yeah.
Which kind of like led me to thinking about the under, like in almost like a 70.
Talking about pace of play, where it affects this when you have a New Mexico who's 22nd in pace of play, and then you have Air Force who's 353rd, almost in the bottom. That's a blowout city type of situation if New Mexico can hit their shots.
Right. 12.5, and that stayed pretty much the same way.
The same the whole time.
All the way through.
I like to see where the money is. I mean, I'm not a money watcher. I'd be interested to know because
I could look that up.
If the money's even, then that makes sense. But
yeah, I'll get to that. Another game that I thought was a tough game that I was going back and forth was the North Dakota State. Another tough game. I thought.
yeah,
Yeah.
so tough.
I mean,
That's the Summit League, and that is Summit Conference, and that is the conference that is my favorite overs. That's got Oral Roberts. The Dakotas usually don't play defense.
yeah, they're
Problem
the
is this
Summit
season,
League, right?
yeah,
Not yet.
this season they haven't been scoring. I don't know if it's defense or just sucky ass offense, but Oral Roberts is the only team in that conference that can score points.
Yeah, last time they played at North Dakota, 71-49 was the final score. Um, actually, when I first looked at this game, and I agree with what you're saying, and I was thinking that this would be this is the under I had written down at 141, not the Air Force game. I mean, North Dakota, they're bad on rebounds. They're not good on offense. Not good on free throws. Let's see how they doing against the spread on the road. North Dakota, 7-15 on the road, 2-8. 7-15 overall, 2-8 on the road. 10-10 overall, 3-7 against the spread, and State at home, just as bad. 4-4 at home, 8-13 overall, 2-4 against the spread. Yeah, I mean, another game like you said. What would you do with this game? North Dakota 69 points a game. North Dakota State 71. I'm definitely off of this game. Is anybody on this game at all?
I'm way off that game. I'm running away from that game.
What game did we miss? I think we missed Cleveland State.
We didn't talk about Cleveland State, Purdue, Fort Wayne, or Detroit, Robert Morris.
Right.
Okay. I'm not on either of them. We can talk about them, but I'm not on either of them.
I don't know if anybody else is really on them or not. Let's see. I didn't have anything really written down on either one of those games. So,
where's the money at in that Air Force game? Let's look at that. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I forgot to. I got distracted. So while I pull that up, tomorrow, there's some good games tomorrow, man. I wonder if they pulled anything up here yet. Let me see if I can get to that too. There are definitely some good ones.
Yep, I got St. Peter's playing St. Mary's tomorrow. I'm sure the total is going to be low, and I'm going to be taking the under.
St. Peter's have been playing they're so bad this year. Well,
yeah.
They're just
Got that, and but if you're looking at Air Force money up, we could talk about. I have a couple hockey plays tonight. If anyone's interested,
tell me. First of all, I was looking at the Rangers, and I didn't like the minus 155, 150, 155. I didn't like, but I think there's a thing with the Rangers that we talk about it here in New York all the time, but I don't hear many people talking about it. And then I heard, of course, Ian talking about it, but I'm not surprised. He is Mr. Hockey foremost at first and foremost. The Rangers, and we talked about it last night about the day stats. Teams are such and such on days. The Rangers win at Madison Square Garden on Friday nights. It's been a thing year in and year out. It just is a thing that they play well on Friday nights. In general, they have a good record on Friday nights, and most of their Friday night games, for some reason, in the scheduling is always home. I guess because Madison Square Garden makes sure of that, because it fills up the arena.
Yep.
But it's interesting that the Rangers are they do play well on a Friday. That stat actually holds up with the team, and it's the Rangers. I was kind of looking at the puck line, and I'm not a big puck line player.
Yeah.
But I like the Rangers tonight in a bounce back spot.
Rangers are one of the trickiest teams for me to bet. I usually they're tough. They were under City for a while. They just I don't know. But the two games that I'm on. I'm sure you're a Mets fan. Are you an Isles fan too, or a Rangers fan?
No, I'm a Ranger fan.
Okay.
But,
you're yeah. Well, you never know up in that area. They say the
right
island
here.
is.
I could ride my bike to the island new facility.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm on that under the Red Wings. I call the Red Wings the work boots because those are an actual brand of work boots, and who knows what the hell a Red Wing is. But so I've got the work boots in the Isles under 5.5. I know that's low, but based upon their last 10 games, this should be 2-1, or 2-0, or 3-0. Got plus money. Then last night we cashed on the Blackhawks. I got their puck line at plus money. They won the damn game outright. I should have bet the money line at plus 3 something. But I've got another plus money line. I got the Sharks, another horrible team, plus 1.5, a plus 104 because their last 5 games they've covered the puck line as dogs at home. So
Gotcha. The Islanders don't score. I don't know what's up with them. They did
yeah, they
nothing.
don't.
They didn't change their team at all from last year. They did nothing, and they rode this new arena, and they ate the team. And they've been getting booed. I hear at the games. I hear my friends
They
that got
stink.
season tickets.
Yeah.
They've been giving them they've been definitely giving them the business. That's for sure. I did like the Rangers tonight. I was looking at maybe the team total. Something like that. Another interesting game, though. I thought let me see what you think about. Was about this Devils Dallas game. I see Dallas getting a lot of money, and I know Jersey's on a back to back, and they haven't been playing. They're still a good team. I know they came out. They started the season like like just a world beater. But I don't know, man. That price kind of they're not the worst dog to take tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the odds right now. So Dallas was one of my real hot teams in the beginning of the season. Their
Yes.
offense started out just guns a blazing. I was taking their team total almost every game. Problem is that ship's kind of sailed.
Yeah.
Where is the line for them?
I mean, I think the Devils
There
are
it
like
is.
plus 130 or something, 135 maybe. Or
Here,
you
so just like the Stars kind of fell off, or fell off, they might be coming back. The Devils, I think, peaked way too early.
yeah,
I don't
seems
know. I
that
don't.
way.
Yeah, I don't like this line. Well, no one expected what would happen, but I don't like
Right.
this line. I mean, I actually would lean the Stars, but I don't pay that price. I might look for Stars in regulation. The problem is the Stars are a team that goes to overtime all the freaking time. So I would stay away from this game. But my only bet, I think, would be Stars in regulation under
Okay, I
protest.
got you. The way I was looking at it was I just was thinking that this wasn't the worst spot for the Devils to sneak this game in. I mean, with the price, I'm not going to take it, but I'm
It's
going to
not,
find a
but
way
I
to
can
get
give
on
you
the
an
crazy
analogy.
game.
You remember how hot the Mets were to bet in the beginning of the season, and then people just kept betting them, and
Right.
they weren't winning,
Right.
or at least when I bet them, they weren't.
Uh
You
huh.
can't hold on to
Oh
a
yeah.
trend too long. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The
No,
Devils are due to
I agree with you. I
yeah.
agree. I have no
Devils are due to
problem
regress.
going to the well. I have no problem keep on going to the well, but you got to know when to back off.
Couple losses, and the Devils are kind of showing who they really are. They're not
Yeah.
the team that was
They're
that
not
great.
that. Yeah, they're
Mm-mm.
not a team that's going to run through the playoffs. Yeah, Paco. I guess you're. I'm assuming you're talking about that Ranger thing that I said. Yeah, that is a thing. That is a thing. So okay, basketball, Air Force plus 12.5. 32% of the tickets, 39% of the cash. New
Yeah.
Mexico, 68% of the tickets, 61% of the cash. This is the betting splits that DraftKings puts together. It's a combination of all their sports books from across the country. When I compare this to some other ones that people talk about, like Sports Insights and all that stuff, to me, the numbers might be a little bit different, but they're always 3 or 4% of, like, it really doesn't. It tells the same story. Is
Yeah.
my point. So people kind of, you can't get too caught up in the, like, if I told you that New Mexico was, it was 72% and 70, and 64%. Did that tell you a different story than the first?
It doesn't. It doesn't. Here's the deal. I'm interested in those numbers. The only time I really look at those are for big playoff games in NFL because
Right.
those numbers aren't to me. I don't know where that data is coming from. Are those offshores? Or are those just what I mean? So it's like, and they are different. But I will
That's why I
say
like to use the DraftKings one because I know they're at least I
they're
know where
here.
they're from. And
Yeah.
and again, I'm like you. I don't really put a lot of stock into them, but a lot of our friends, a lot of people that we cap with, put a lot of stock into that, and they're good
Well,
cappers.
they
But it
pay
works.
$1,500 a year for Sport Insight and stuff. I
You're
mean,
right. But
yeah,
see, my point with Sport Insight is it doesn't tell me that much of a different story that I'm getting right now
no,
reading the DraftKings one. Now I pay for this. I talked about it all the time. Full disclosure, I pay for VSiN every year. I got it 4 years ago as a Christmas present from my daughter. It's like $20 a month or whatever the hell it is. It's nothing. It's
yeah.
not a lot of money. It's the only thing I ever paid for. And she bought me a subscription. And then the next year, I didn't even realize they got renewed again. Like they, that's what you do. That's why they have. That's what they like to do with the credit card. But I kept going. I kind of like it. I really like them a lot. We used to get a lot of good information out of them. I was sending all the guys out. Or every year they put out every sport a big report, so a full year report on all the
Mhm.
team. It's really knowledgeable stuff. But and I used to send all the guys out their reports and stuff. So I think Paco might even got one about hockey. I'm not sure, but last year or two I noticed that like everything else, they're starting to get a little bit fluffy. A lot of marketing. Now they're trying to sell picks, and now
Yeah.
they're trying to get into a lot of areas, which I don't have no problem with. But it's just like everything else, little by little, it's kind of fading away. But
Use discretion.
yeah, but the VSiN, the whole thing is pretty good. They got some cool shows. I mean, at the time when it started, there was no other shows that were on like on a radio type, live every day, just talking about sports gambling. So
Mhm.
that's what I guess that's what made my daughter buy me the subscription. At
Well,
first. So
about this game specifically, what jumps out, and by Paco, I have New
which game?
Mexico's a 14 and a
New
half point
Mexico.
favorite. Yeah, New Mexico. I have
Yeah.
2 points of line value there if you want to take New Mexico. The problem is, and like I said, who knows how accurate these numbers are, but if all of that money, if the tickets and the handle are all sizably on New Mexico, the line hasn't moved, then the books might not be worried about New Mexico money coming in, which would,
Right.
if I were a money watcher, that scare me. But I'm more of a value guy, so I'm actually thinking about putting this bet in right now, taking New Mexico to lay the big chalk.
Yeah,
Pace of play
Paco,
is
I would definitely. Paco says that DraftKings is a good indicator book, especially because it's very public.
yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Like Paco, you and me, we kind of grew up in the same, thinking about the same things the last 5 years. Like we always, our whole crew, man, it was Pinnacle. Pinnacle
Mm.
was like really the one to go to when we all got together like 5 years ago. What I'm talking about with Jimmy the Bag and everybody. Pinnacle to me is still a good. But now with all the legal betting and with the numbers that are coming in are just unbelievable. I mean, in New York, it's got like $30 billion last year. It's like
Mhm.
ridiculous numbers, man. Ridiculous numbers. So DraftKings, I think it's a pretty good indicator. What did I have about? So this total 142 and a half in that game. Air Force, New Mexico. And again, now check this out. Now, this is the only time I like looking at the splits. And sometimes in about an hour before the game, and when I look and I see some kind of big disparages, sometimes it works. And but it's always like the later bets. But on this total is one of the out of all the games, this has the biggest disparity. Under 142 and a half, 30% of the tickets, 70% of the money. That's a big spread
That's
right there.
huge.
That's huge. And on the over, 64% of the tickets. So a lot of public on that over, but only 30% of that is the cash. So
Yeah.
that's that to me that
That
listen,
makes me like the New
New
Mexico even
Mexico even
more.
more, right? Of
Yeah,
course,
because
yes,
that's basically saying that
right.
I'm looking at New Mexico can score and Air Force can't, but also both these teams are trending to the over. But if you have sharp money on the under, I think that's saying New Mexico blows them out and takes their foot off the pedal. And yeah, I like New Mexico a lot
Yeah,
now that I'm
yeah. You
thinking
guys
about it.
are talking me into it. Out of all the games tonight, now we'll wrap this up. Out of all the games tonight, as far as the point spread is concerned, the Rider game is like dead even. Manhattan's pretty even. Now Manhattan actually is getting 51% of the money, 68% of the cash at +6. I don't agree with that, and perfect example. If I like Niagara tonight, I would still bet it. I'm not going to not bet it because of that, but
Okay.
that's for sure. Any other big ones? No, the biggest one really was that total. Any other big totals?
Yeah, I'm
The
adding New
Youngstown
Mexico to my
State.
actual plays for sure.
Youngstown State, Oakland game. Over 151 and a half is getting 50% of the money, 81% of the cash. And the under, again, 54%, 46% of the tickets, only 19% of the money on the under 151. So that was another pretty big one. But other than that, all of them were pretty much even. Nothing crazy. But anyhow, That's about it. Football games. Oh, we lost Dave. I was going to ask him about the football games. We got Parker. We're going to do 8 o'clock tonight. Who-Bangin? Me, Doc, DJ. If you're around, you want to come on, let me know. I will send you a link. If you're home, are you home tonight? You want to stop in? Let me know. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up in a DM if you're around, and you could come on with us tonight. But we're going to do that 8 o'clock tonight. The football games, Dave.
Yeah.
When you got mad and shut off, but you came back. That's good.
No, it's touching shit.
Something's going on with your stuff. Go out and come back in. Let me knock you out again and come back in again. Let's see. Let's see now. Let's see if we could do this. He was breaking up. So it's two good games this weekend, as we know, right? There you go. Two good games this weekend.
Yeah.
I bet them right away. I didn't want to change my mind and go back and forth all week long. And after I put the bets in, I still went back and forth. And I'm looking now, those point spreads. With the San Francisco game, I took under 46.5. It went down to 46. It went back up to 46.5. It's back down to 46. I took the under in that game. And I also took the Eagles in the money line parlay with, I'm seeing 2.5 now. I took a money line parlay with the Bengals, plus 200 and whatever, 5, 6, whatever the hell it was. It was, wasn't much. It was like 200 for, and I usually don't even bet that much on a parlay, but or much on a game, but it was 200 to win like 4, whatever, 10, 4, 12, something like that, a little bit over 200. So that's what it was. But yeah, I took that game. So I took the under 46.5, and I took the Eagles, and I took the Bengals. Now I know yesterday we talked about the Eagles and the 49ers, and I kind of thought that Dallas really their defense held the 49ers to the right amount of points that they could have won that game. I think that they could have won that game. I don't think they were just I just think they beat themselves more than anything. But I did when we talked about it and I thought about it, I did agree with what you were saying about Shanahan and the game that he called.
Yeah.
And
there are definite very
and
very.
What tricks does he have under his sleeve this week, right, Dave?
I'm not, and I'm a Niners fan. I want to say this, but the caveat is I've won just as much money betting against the Niners this season, with too big of spreads as I have winning with them. I think I bet them 6 times. I've won all of them against or bet the game either against or for them. My thing with the Niners is, and there's 2 big things. One is Shanahan Ragu and I were on the live stream with Jimmy. Right. And we were scratching our heads saying, what, this is not all. Jimmy was saying it too, because he's a Niners fan. This isn't the play calling that Shanahan calls. Yeah. And the second half, they also weren't executing, but the second half they were. Debo got going, McCaffrey got going, but McCaffrey was non-existent in the first half. I think that Shanahan called the game he needed to call to get to the big game and then do what he had to do. Now, granted, Purdy is a big question mark. But if you look at Purdy's last 7 games and Jalen's last 7 games, their stats are almost identical. Yeah. And here's the kicker. Purdy has more playoff wins. Purdy has more playoff yards. Purdy has a better passing percentage. I mean, all of his stats, they both had 2 games. Purdy's stats are better. Now, granted, he wasn't throwing he was throwing against the Cowboys, which is a good team, and Seahawks aren't that good. And last year, who eliminated Philly? Oh, it was the Bucs. The Bucs had a good defense, so Jalen was up against it, and the Giants are who the Giants are. But I think people are sleeping on Purdy, and the thing that bothers me is it's mostly from Philly, people who live in Philly, but how they're going to blow the Niners out. That's ludicrous to me. I mean, it might happen, but if that's your take on it, that's fanboy stuff.
Well, that's happened here last week. Everybody in the world, and like I told you, I wasn't too popular with my Eagles bet last week. Yeah. Everybody, what annoyed me was they were dismissing the Eagles. They were talking Giants, like it was a foregone conclusion. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And even though I like the Eagles this week, I bet the money line. I wouldn't bet the 2.5 points. So that goes to show you where I think this game is at. I
Yeah.
wouldn't take the 2.5. I took the money line. It was and I put it in the parlay, but it was still
Yeah.
whatever it was, minus 130, 140, whatever the hell. So I don't understand the blowout thing. Um,
We'll
I
see. I
do
mean,
think
Purdy
that
could.
I understand what you're saying, and I just
Yeah.
think that with the Eagles, I mean, the Eagles they kind of coasted the last part of and I was worried
Mhm.
about that last week because they really didn't have to play any meaningful ball those last few weeks.
Yeah.
If you think about it, so I was kind of worried that they weren't going to be able to turn it on last week. But I will say that they're a lot better team than Dallas, and
Yeah.
the 49ers are playing a better defense and they're playing a better quarterback than they did last year. And they are
Yeah.
on the and they are on the road. Not that that really matters, but I think it's gonna be a great game.
It is.
What do you think about the underplay 46?
Under's the play too.
Yeah,
I'm not going to bet it, but the under's definitely the play.
yeah.
And then I'm going to find some props and stuff. I'm on both. I'm on money lines on both. I'm on the Niners money line. I want some
Okay.
plus money. I'm not going to even
Right.
take the points. And
Right.
then I'm on the Bengals money line.
Yeah, listen, the line is going to win. They're going to win. Forget about
Yeah.
at this point, like we said yesterday, these point spreads mean a lot less as the playoffs go on. Who do you like to win? That's what really matters. Um, but yeah, I took the Bengals too. I'm hoping Patty Mahomes is still a little hobbled. He sure didn't look good at the end of that game.
Mm-mm.
He really didn't. He was hobbling a lot. So I did take the under, Don. Yes, sir. I took the under 46.5. I took it right away. And Nasty, no, he's not out of the hospital yet. I'm going to check in on him right after we're done. But he was feeling better today. They made him like so he don't get up, and he was actually had to stay in that damn hospital bed. And his fever went down a lot. So, yeah. Hopefully he'll be back on Monday. I won't be around next week. I got a nice little trip planned with my girl going to Foxwoods for
Nice.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll be back on Thursday, so I need a little break, little rest from the thing. But and they got a nice DraftKings sports book there at Foxwoods, so it should be
Never been to
nice.
Foxwoods.
Yeah, we
But
like it. We like
yeah.
it. We started going there a couple of years ago when we stopped going to Atlantic City. We started going there not a couple of years ago, probably more like 5, 6, 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we like Foxwoods. It's nice. It's all inclusive. There's a bunch of casinos all under one thing, and my girl, so she don't mind roaming. I'm out playing poker late. She could, Atlantic City was starting to get a little sketchy at one point.
Yeah.
But now that the sports books, this was pre-sports books. Now that the sports books are back in Atlantic City, they've all put some money into it and cleaned it back up again, and now the business is there, so it's not as as sketchy. So Atlantic City has definitely come back as far as that's concerned. But as far as the football games, man, they should be some good games. I was just going to take a quick look to see if there was any. I mean, the point spreads pretty much stayed all the same, right? All
Yep.
the way through.
They haven't moved.
It hasn't moved, right?
Yeah.
The Bengals are getting a little bit too much love, maybe, and that's what only that worries me. It seems like that Kansas City is getting a little discounted. I mean, if you want to talk money, 26% of the tickets are on the Chiefs, 24% of the money, 74% ticket, 76 cash on the Bengals plus 1.5. On the money line, the Bastards didn't put up the money line until tomorrow. They just put up the totals. A lot of people say 61% even, Steven, on the under 46.5. And in the Bengals Chiefs game, as you would suspect, most of the cash is on the over 48, but 29% of the tickets and 37% of the cash is on the under 48 as far as that's concerned. So it looks like some of the pros, so-called pros, are on that under. It's tough to pick those games because of the weather, too. You never know what the hell's going to happen in that weather.
Yeah.
Did you hear Joe Burrow at the end of last week's game? Because, Buffalo won. They were going to play Kansas City in Atlanta in the
Yeah.
Dome, right? So they asked Joe Burrow, like the first question that the girl asked him after the game. He says, I guess you people got to get your refunds. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, he's a character. He's growing on me. I think even with Patrick Mahomes, the Bengals might win the game. They're streaking. They're legitimate. They have offensive line question marks, but I don't know. Should be two good games. I lean unders for both, and I'm on the
Yeah.
dogs for both.
All
So
right, cool, Dave. All right, man. So, what do you got going tonight? Tell everybody your Twitter. Tell everybody what you got going tonight.
yep. Picks from Dave on Twitter. Give out picks every night for the next day. I also do YouTube. I have a show on Fridays that does conflict with this channel and others, but hey, it's only 20 to 30 minutes. It's a quick show, and you can play the replay too. It's not a show you have to be in live. If you are in the live, I do give out two $50 free picks, and Nate knows this. Some of these guys know this. That I pull out of my pocket, kind of as an advertisement thing. We'll see how that goes. But we give out 6 plays, 3 from me, 3 from my co-host, and then after that, I'll probably jump on PSR late because they're having another stream. But
Yeah, I was talking to Cabby. Text me this morning, and
Yeah.
I was telling him I got hung up watching that Michigan State game. That's why I
Mhm.
never even came on the live. But he was telling me he was rushing around today like crazy. He's trying his best to make that make that tonight. But
Yeah.
I told him I'll definitely stop in after. Yeah, we're only doing something on Who-Bangin for the next couple of weeks for the football, and then we'll be probably done with that. As far as $50 free plays, I mean, I do a thing with BetUS. It's on my Twitter. Full disclosure, I tweet it out almost every
Mhm.
day because I get paid to tweet it out almost every day, so that's why I do it. But I also got the affiliate thing going with them, and what I do have though, and I thought it was weird that they would do this, but they gave me a $50 free play if someone wants to just sign up and not
Yeah.
deposit any money just to check it out. So it's on my Twitter. There's a link. You can always use that if you want. Of course, they got the 125 match deal, and so if anyone's looking for an extra book, BetUS is pretty good. I mean, I'm using it myself, or I wouldn't even be. I tell you the truth, I use BetOnline and BetUS more than I got FanDuel. I got the 3 of them, and I use FanDuel less and less. I feel like I'm getting better lines on these damn offshores. And from what I heard from a lot of reputable people during baseball, BetUS is solid.
It
So we'll
is.
see how
So
that
I use
goes. Yeah.
BetUS. I was from California and I moved to Arizona. I can use all of them. I
Uh
can
huh.
tell you that there
Oh,
are a
you already
couple
have an
times.
account, huh? You can't
Yeah.
even use the free play then.
Well, yeah, no, I can't. But
Yeah.
and Bet Online, but Bet Online I use more than the other two, and it's DraftKings
Me
and
too.
MGM. But I don't even use FanDuel anymore, hardly at all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do use FanDuel for baseball first fives. A lot of the numbers are better,
Uh
but
huh.
during football season, FanDuel stinks.
Yeah, man. I
Sorry,
agree with
FanDuel.
you. And I'll be honest with you. Even though I work for BetUS, I like Bet Online a lot. I
Yeah.
think they're one of the best books out there, and I like playing poker on there too. I play a lot of poker on there, small time, just pass the time and just to get a little bit better. I'll play
Mhm.
those real low stakes, cash games. But I mentioned the Jimmy the Bag. We could play private poker games on Bet Online. We
I
could
have a
get a
name.
game ourselves.
I have a poker
Yeah,
account. I
yeah.
keep that secret, but I'll let you guys
Right.
know what it is.
Yeah, no, I'm saying we could get up a private game ourselves, or
Yeah.
any kind of
Cool.
stakes we want, if just for fun one night. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like those. I like them a lot. So anyhow, we could keep on going on and on. I'll let you get
Hmm.
out of here, Dave. Don Player, thanks for stopping in, man. Nasty Eight. I will tell Tease that you guys send your love. Paco, if you want to come on tonight, just hit me with a. Okay, I am in. I'm gonna send you. Put it this way, Paco. I'll send you a link if you can make it. Come on in tonight. You're very welcome. Damon, thanks for stopping in. Always supporting Who Bangin', man. We appreciate you, man. And I never knew Paco that Damon and you are buds until DJ schooled me on that. Jimmy Gomez in the house. Everybody, we appreciate it, man. Like I said, we'll send Tease our love. The games I am on here is Sienna +7, Davidson +2, under 150.5 Kent, over 150.5 Youngstown. Those are the games I am on. Tease is on first half -3, Iona, and Niagara first half over 59.5. Dave Rogers is on what?
I'm on that game, but the full game over
Full
127
game
and a
over.
half.
Uh huh.
I'm on now. Are we saying what I bet it at, or are we saying what you can get it at now?
No,
How
you
does your
bet
show
what you
work?
bet it at. I don't
Okay.
listen.
Ryder money
Yeah.
line minus 127
Uh-huh.
and St. Louis money line 118. I don't. They're higher. They're 20 cents higher than that. Both of them.
Right.
I would still, if you're going to bet them, you can take do one of two things. Either take the spread, lay the points, it's like 2 each, or you can do this thing that I was against. I don't do parlays, but I'm kind of into this 2 money lines that you like that are too juiced. You put them together and you get an even money return. It's actually at minus 135 each. You'll probably get a plus money. But anyways,
Yeah. You will. You'll probably get
plus money.
Yeah. You probably get
20
plus
cents
two,
or something.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. DJ likes that too. DJ been toying around with the with that too. He pulled up something uh, where it had the stats on percentages of against the spread wins and stuff, and he was putting them together over a certain percentage. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was almost kind of like what you're saying.
Mhm.
And then you were saying about that round robin little experiment you're doing.
Yeah, no, none of the team that didn't turn out. It actually it turned out well for the opening lines. It didn't turn out because some of the lines moved. I think I lost money on the round robin. I think I bet $1 on 2 to 6. So it was 57 to win. I don't know, 1,000 or something,
Okay,
and I
gotcha.
won $20. I won half my bet back, but none of the games qualified today. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday of course a typical parlay, I split. Arizona State lost, Grand Canyon won at +2. Thankfully, I bet Grand Canyon on the side also. So it's amazing how many dogs that I've been winning on that won outright.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how many of that's happened. I don't play, I don't believe in just sprinkling money left and right because that sprinkle ends up being a lot of money. But it's just amazing how that's been working out lately. Until I try doing it both ways, it'll never work. But anyhow, all right, Dave, man, I appreciate everything. I appreciate you helping me out the last 2 days, filling in for our boy Tease. Hopefully, he'll be back next week. We'll let you know. Check out our Twitter. We will let you know what's going on next week. If not him, it won't be me, but it'll be somebody else. So we'll see what happens. Or maybe he just takes a couple days off. We're trying to. I told him I was going to block him today, so he wouldn't give me no plays. He wouldn't come on, and he, so he would just damn rest. But of course, I didn't do that. Anyway, thanks everybody in the chat for coming in. Appreciate you guys. Dave, much respect to you, man, and we will talk soon. So
Thanks
I
for
will see
having
you
me.
later. Let me get everybody out of here. Forget about the closing thing. It's too late. See you guys.